Okay, today we'll discuss about the next part of the transportation modeling, that is actual transportation modeling, how to do the transportation modeling. Okay, in the previous class we have discussed about the first stage of the transportation planning, that is transportation survey. Now, in the next part, we'll discuss about the transportation modeling, how the actual modeling for transportation or the transportation engineering is done, and that we'll discuss. Okay, now I'm going to start the presentation of today's note. That is, I think the note is visible to all of you. If not, please inform me. I think my voice is audible and the note is visible now. Now, in the last class, we have discussed about transportation survey and data collection. Now, from all those data, those we have collected, we can collect from the previous stage. We have to use that to model the total transportation design. Okay. Now, here the main model of transportation is dependent on the supply and demand function. I think I don't know whether you have studied or not. In economics, there may be one subject you have studied, that is engineering economics. In that, you may have studied about the demand and supply function. In this case also, the demand and supply function is the primary concept to model the transportation. Now, the difference of transportation engineering and those cost supply demand function is that here transportation demand is one derived demand. That is, if there is no transportation, we don't have any demand. If there is no transportation mode or transportation service, we don't have any demand from that. But if there is some facilities or some service, then that demand will generate. That means that demand, that transportation demand is derived demand and not generated by itself. And this transportation service demand is generated from the daily activity or by daily practices. That's why in this case the loss or profit, those may be generated from the transportation service, that is not in terms of some monetary terms. That is, those are those profit or loss, that means the cost. That cost is the function of the service which that transportation system or that facility is providing to the users. That is the only profit or loss. Profit or loss, here profit or loss cannot be calculated in some monetary terms. That is the main difference between the economic supply demand model, and here in the transport demand and supply function. Okay, now this is, I can enlarge the diagram. This is the model of supply demand function. Here the red curve is for supply function and the green curve is for demand function, and x-axis will represent the volume and the y-axis will represent the cost. Now, in case of demand, this is very much easy to understand that when cost is low, then demand is high. Obviously when the in any cases, not only for transportation engineering, in any cases when cost is low, then the demand of that product is very high. That is, the volume is very high, demand volume is very high. As the cost will decrease, the demand volume will be increased. And obviously when the cost is high, then the demand volume will be decreased. Okay, that is very much very easy to understand the demand function. But in case of supply function, that we have already told that supply function or supply curve is totally dependent on the cost, and here the cost is not in terms of monetary purpose. We cannot calculate these cost in case of transportation engineering in some monetary terms, but the supply function or supply uh, is actually uh, this sentence is very much important. That is, this function, the supply function, will answer the question what will be the level of service of the system. That means the level of service is here the profit or loss, or the main or primary supply function characteristics. Okay, and for that, if the estimated demand means how much demand is required, that is estimated previously, and that much demand is loaded in that system, then what will be the level of service that system is providing to the users. That is the supply function here representing. This is the red curve. And obviously in this case, when cost is low, the supply volume is low, and when the cost is high, obviously when supply will increase, then the cost will also increase, because obviously the unit supply or unit product the production of unit product will be, if we consider the unit product production cost of unit product is C, then obviously that will be multiplied with the number of products which is actually generating which is actually loaded in the system. And that's why the supply function is like this. That is, when supply volume is higher, the required cost will also higher. And this point is the equilibrium point, where the demand volume and supply volume is at the optimum condition, and that condition is the most economic condition in all the cases. Okay, now coming to the actual modeling, actual transportation modeling. In this case we will discuss about the four stage modeling. This one, four stage modeling, we'll discuss about this. And obviously this term zones, we have discussed about this in the previous class, that we have to divide the total study area in different parts from where the trip may be generated. Trip means obviously the path of the traveling, and at the generation point, or at the initial point of the trip, that is the generation point, and the destination point is at the point where the trip ends. And we have to divide the total study area in different zones. And one thing which we have to leave on the hand of pupil or the user, that is the decision that what kind of path or trip or what kinds of mode the user will choose for their traveling. That decision we have to leave in the hand of that system users. Okay. And for all the cases, for all the alternatives which any user have in their hand, all those alternatives have different kinds of cost and different kinds of time taken. That means obviously if we have studied about railway engineering or airport engineering, all those are modes of transportation. And if we leave the decision making power to the system user, that you can use the railway or the airway in case of they are traveling, then obviously the cost of airway is higher than the cost of railway mode. Then obviously some parts of the user will choose the railway due to the higher cost of airway, but some part of the user will choose the airway due to the low time requirement for the traveling. These kinds of decisions uh, will be made by the system users only. We the actually the planner, transportation planner, cannot decide in part of those system users. That cannot be possible. So this is one factor we have to keep in our mind before going to start the planning. And here the planning, total planning, there are different kinds of modeling, but here the most classical and most used modeling is the four staged modeling. And the four stages are trip generation modeling, trip distribution modeling, modal split, and trip assignment. I can bold it so that you can easily find out when you will study this note. That is trip generation, trip distribution, modal split, and trip assignment. Now trip generation is nothing but the generation of trip from the initial point of the traveling path. And okay, before that, okay, this part I have just left. Before that, this part is the initial preparation for the transportation planning. In the previous class, also we have discussed about the zoning and the collection of data from the survey. And in those survey, we have to collect the data, that the population data, the economic activity in that specific study area. That is, those kinds of data may be employment characteristics, the shopping places, if there is any shopping places or not, or educational sectors, where the educational sectors are there, the points, actually the points in that study area. Because the if the shopping place is there in any of the point, that will be the destination point of any trip or any traveling path. Educational sector or the offices or the any leisure facilities, if there is any, then those will be the destination point and generation point of any trip or the traveling path. So we have to collect these kinds of data from the transportation survey. And another which is very much important, that is the population data. That means how much people are there, and obviously how much people is actually able to use the system. If there is air transportation mode, then obviously we cannot consider 100% people or 100% population in that area will use the airway for their traveling. That is not possible. So we have to collect the data, how much population or how much percentage of population will use these kinds of mode or that kinds of mode of transportation. And now we'll go for after dividing or after zoning and after surveying and collecting data, we have to go for the these kinds of four staged modeling. In the first stage of modeling, that is trip generation, in this stage the initial points or starting points of trips are actually find out, or we have to mark the starting points. That means obviously starting points will be the those steps of each household maybe, or maybe in some parts some time of the day the starting points may be from some offices or some schools or colleges or some leisure points. Those may be the generation trip generation points in that study area. Obviously this study area is important because we are only studying that area, not the surrounding area or not the total city or total state or total country. We have to concentrate on the specific study area because when the study area changes, then all these data and all these requirements and demand will also change. That's why you have to concentrate on the specific study area. And this okay, and the first stage is trip generation, that is to find out the points of generating trips or the initial points of traveling path. In the next step actually that is trip distribution. Now trip distribution is the, okay, I can bold these parts. Trip distribution is the allocation of trips to different zones. That means uh, from maybe there are from 5 or 6 zones, zone 1 to 6. Each zone may can act as that trip generation point, but from each zone to other all other zones the trips may be continued, and from zone 1 to zone 2 to 5, all the zones may be the trip distribution points. That means zone 1 to 2, zone 1 to 3, zone 1 to 4, or zone 1 to 5, or zone 1 to 6. These types of distribution is actually done in this step. And maybe zone 1 to zone 3 there is no trips, there is no kinds of traveling by the people or by the user in general cases. That means we have to leave this number, that is zone 1 to zone 3 traveling path, we have to leave that in our modeling. These kinds of data we have to collect from the transportation survey. And when we are doing this trip distribution modeling, then we have to keep that point in our mind, sorry, that zone 1 to zone 3 there is no trip occurred in general cases. That means we don't have to give much stress on that path, zone 1 to zone 3. This is the trip distribution model. And these kinds of matrix, this is the matrix actually you have done matrix in your mathematics class, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6, and all those numbers are in a third bracket. And these are actually points 1 2 3 4 5 6, maybe 10, maybe 100, maybe 1000. These points are actually 1 2 3 4, these are points. And trips are actually 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 1, 2 to 4, 2 to 100. These are the trip distribution, these are the trip matrix. We may have to uh, create trip matrix depending on the number of zones in the study area. Okay, and in the next step, that is the modal split. This term is very much important for your exam purpose, because in many cases in your semester exam. Modal strip, what is modal strip, split, sorry, what is modal split, write short note on modal split. This type of question you may face in your semester exam. Okay, and this is very much important for transportation planning purpose also, because there are different types of modes. There are different in any town area, maybe no railway, no airway, these types of modes are not there, but obviously there are some modes of buses, there modes of trams, taxis, autos, totos, like of these types of sorry, these types of modes are available in that area, and people have that power to decide or to choose any of the modes from all those available modes. And obviously those choosing or those decision are dependent on the cost and the time required for traveling to a specific distance. That is the main factors on which modes, decision of modes are dependent on. And we have to just divide or just predict from the data we have collected in the survey part, that this much of population will choose this mode, this transportation mode. That model is actually called modal split modeling. And uh, these actually this model will uh, associated with the trip matrix, because one when 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 or 1 to 50 or 1 to 17, these kinds of trip distribution, in each trip distribution there will be different modal split matrix. Maybe there are 10 zones in one study area, and we are just made a we have just made a strip matrix, that is 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, like that, and 2 to 1, 2 to 3, 2 to 10, like that. And now we have to choose one trip path or trip distribution, that may be 4 to 7, 4 to 7, this path, in this path there may be 4 modal availabilities or 4 modal options. That means this trip distribution or this trip path 4 to 7 will be divided into 4 kinds of options. That is also made by use of matrix, and that is called modal split matrix or modal matrix. That means 4 to 7, in case of 4 to 7 path or 4 to 7 trip distribution, there will be some buses, some autos, some totos, some taxis, or maybe people will choose walking also. That is also a transportation mode, maybe. That because you if walking people are larger, then you have to design the footpaths in that area. That is the main thing. Okay, so this is the modal split model, or the third stage of total modeling. And finally the last stage of this modeling is trip assignment model. And this trip assignment model is, sorry, trip assignment model. And trip assignment model is by going through all these three previous models, we have to assign the trips to different zones, and that assignments of different zones will create a trip network by all these matrix, that is trip distribution matrix, modal split matrix, trip generation points. All these three will use in this part, in this stage, in the last stage, and these will create a transportation network. That means that I have already discussed that there may be 1 to 6 zones. There are 6 points of generation. If we consider all the zones are each uh, 1 points of generation, then trip generations are from 6 points, and 1 to 6 means trip distribution matrix will be, or trip distribution path will be 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, maybe 2 to 1, 2 to 3, like this, 5 to 1, 5 to 6, 5 to 4, like this. And then modal split matrix will be, you have to consider one path. Each of the path, there may be some options of mode, and you have to make the matrix according to those options available, and then you have to assign the trips from 1 to other zones, from 2 to other zones, from 6 to other zones. And by all these traveling, or by all these path assignments, there will be some network will be created, and from these networks, each link means the intersection points of different paths. Each links, that link point will be actually assigned some loads, and at that nodes, or at that links, we have to design that part of the road or that part of the study area accordingly. That means how much load is, how much vehicle is running through that node or through that link. According to that, we have to design that part. Maybe that is road, maybe that is some other modes, maybe that is railway point, maybe that is railway nodes. That part will be designed according to the loads assigned on that link, and that loads will be determined by the network system that is generated from this modeling. Okay, is this okay? This is all about the transportation modeling, the main part of transportation modeling. Now